Hello, welcome back to our SM classes. So today we are talking about the introduction of graph. So what we have to learn, so that we are learning about introduction of graph. So what type of graphs are there, how to draw the graphs, and what are the values. Okay, how to plot a graph on a graph paper. So what is mean by graph, as well as what are the types of axis, what is meant by origin, what are the quadrants. So these are all concept we are talking in this particular topic. So first of all, let's see, this is the graph which is shown on your paper or screen. So it look like this. So first of all, let's see, there are two types of lines are there. This one is a vertical line and this one is a horizontal line. So there are two types of line. So vertical one, so let's see this line, and horizontal one that we called as this line. So what are the names of that? So obviously this one we called as a axis. Okay. Now next thing is that, so this is the point where the two lines they join with each other. So that we call it as a O point, or we call it as a origin. Let's see. Now this axis, okay, they intersect over here. This is we call it as a joining point of x-axis and y-axis. So that's why we call it as a this is a origin. Now this total graph, which is we called as a, you know, this portion we called as a positive x-axis. So always we have to keep in mind right side, always we have to consider as a positive one. Next thing is that left side, that we have to always consider as a negative. Next one, top is always positive, and bottom is always negative. So that's why whatever the values are there, so this take example 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, all the numbers are positive. Here is also -1, -2, -3, -4 and -5. These all the values are negative. Similarly, take example over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So whatever the values on a top y-axis, that is positive. That's why we call it as a this is plus y-axis. This is plus x-axis. This is minus y-axis, and this is minus x-axis. Clear? So likewise, we have to identify the points. Now, let's see, if we're talking about a quadrants. Okay, quadrant means what? Because of these two lines, vertical line and horizontal line, these graphs are divided in 1, 2, 3 and 4 parts. Okay, how many parts are there? 1, 2, 3 and 4 parts. So this is first part, so that we call it as a first quadrant. This is first quadrant. So this is second quadrant. This is third quadrant, and this is fourth quadrant. Understood? So अब मान लो यहाँ पे हमें क्या करना है, फर्स्ट क्वाड्रेंट है, सेकंड क्वाड्रेंट है, थर्ड क्वाड्रेंट है. So let's talk about what is the, you know, coordinates, what type of coordinates are there, what is the value of x coordinate, what is the value of y coordinates. Okay, so we are talking about first quadrant. Okay, so let's take example. So first quadrant, so the value of x and y is always positive. X is also positive means whatever the numbers are there, value of y which is also positive, So the coordinates are positive. So in this axis, you get a positive coordinate. Suppose P, which is the point, so X, which is also positive, Y, which is also positive. Let's see second coordinate or second quadrant. So in that second quadrant, what do we observe? So the value of X and Y, the value of X and Y. So X is negative. So here the value of X is negative and value of Y is positive. So this that means the coordinates of a point Q, which is in a second quadrant. So this Q is which has a coordinate, one is positive and one is negative. So let's see R, which is the point in a third quadrant. So obviously the value of X and Y or the symbols of X and Y is one which is a negative and second also negative. See, X which is also negative, Y which is also negative. So whatever the coordinates are there, which are minus minus. Similarly, in the next quadrant, which is we called as a fourth quadrant, you will get the values of X and Y or some symbols or signs of X and Y, which is X is positive, comma Y, which is negative. So likewise, we have to keep in mind. So plus plus, which is in the first quadrant, then minus plus, that means the point which is in a second quadrant, minus minus, that means points in a third quadrant, and positive negative means this quadrant which belongs to the the point which belongs to the fourth quadrant. So likewise, we have to keep in mind. Next one, so we're talking about how to plot a graph of a given number. So let's assume it the point mm, P is 2 and 5. So what is our target? We have to plot a graph of these points. So we have to show the point somewhere on that graph. Okay, so first, as per the previous one, so we have to consider the scale 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. So -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. +1, +2, +3, +1, +2, +3, +4 is there. And now we have to plot a graph. So the point which is always represented in the form of X and Y. The first number, whatever the first number is there, so this is the value of X. Whatever the second number is, this is a coordinate of Y. Let's see 2 and 5. How to draw the graph? Take a Consider the x coordinate. X coordinate is 2, so it and y coordinate is 5. So draw this line like this and second line like this. So if you observe the intersecting point, suppose 2, if you extend it like this, and if you extended 5 from a y-axis like this, so your point is here. So this point we call it as a 2 and 5. Similarly, let's take example. If you want to draw a next point, suppose point Q, let's assume it point Q which has a value 3 and 5, but write down -3 and 5. So the value of X is a -3, so this is -1, -2, -3. So extend this next one 5, but 5 which is on a Y which is 5, so draw like this and join this line like this. So the line which intersect here, so that means your point Q is in second quadrant. So likewise, we have to plot the graph of a given point. Okay. So likewise, just try few more examples to draw the points or to show the points on a graph paper. Similarly, let's take some examples. Just take example -5 and +5. So this is the point that we have to show on a graph. So x coordinate is a -5. So let's see, this is a -5. Y coordinate is a +5. So this is +5. Now, what is the task? We have to draw the lines and we have to find the intersecting point. Suppose if I extended the line like this, and if I extended line from y-axis and I extended line from x-axis. So these two lines intersect over here. Okay, these two lines they intersect over here. So this blue color point, which is -5 and +5. So suppose that is a R which is observed over here. Now take example, suppose if you want to draw if you want to trace or plot a point which has a coordinate x is 5 and y is -7. So obviously one which is positive, another one which is negative. So definitely your graph will be in this quadrant. So what we have to do? Take a First select point 5 and draw a vertical line like this. Clear? Next. So where is -7? So -5, -6 and -7. Again draw horizontal line like this. Suppose these points they intersect over here. Sorry, the points which intersect over here. So this is point which shows the coordinate x is equal to 5. Sorry, x is equal to 5 and y is equal to -7. Clear है? चलो. Now, suppose somehow the question is like that. So, what is the graph or what is the equation for this axis? So, y for sorry, we want to calculate the equation for this equation, this line. So, let's take example. This is a blue colored line which is here. So, what is the equation for this line? So, always keep in mind x is equal to 0, and for this horizontal red color line, the equation for this line is always y is equal to 0. Okay, so always you have to keep in mind x is equal to 0. That means this y-axis, and y is equal to 0 means your x-axis. This is the equation for this horizontal line and vertical line. Now let's take an example. We have to plot a few points over here. Suppose 0, 5. Next one 0, -5, 5, 0. Okay, these are the 3 points we have to draw or we have to show it on the graph. So x is equal to 0. Okay, x is equal to 0. So it is over here. Now y is equal to 5. So your point x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0 is here. So this is the value of 0, 5. Similarly, 0 minus 5. So x is equal to 0 and y is equal to minus pi. So this point which has a coordinate 0 and minus pi. Now third one which is about a 5 and 0. So x which is 5, y coordinate which is equal to 0. So this point is nothing but 5 and 0. So likewise we have to find out the points or plot the graph, or we have to plot the points on the graph paper. So this is a basic part that we learn. So thank you for watching this.